where do we even go from here?
Maybe,
where do we even go?
Our president, our leader, can help us.
Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs. Hairy. Got hairy legs. Hairy.
Come on, man. Armageddon's on the way.
Man, is he predicting his own thing? He said that a long time ago.
Armageddon's on the way.
But now, according to APnews.com, Biden's Armageddon talk edges beyond bounds of U.S. intel. Wow, AP News. President Joe Biden's warning that the world is at risk of a nuclear Armageddon, in quotes, was designed to send an unvarnished message that no one should underestimate the extraordinary danger if Russia deploys tactical nuclear weapons in its war against Ukraine, administration officials said Friday. The president's grim assessment, delivered during a Democratic fundraiser on Thursday night, rippled around the globe. Oh, I guess he's using the time machine too, and appeared to edge beyond the boundaries of current U.S. intelligence assessments. U.S. security officials continue to say they have no evidence that Vladimir Putin has imminent plans for a nuclear strike. But Joe keeps saying it's getting worse, Armageddon's on the way.
Almost like his party has to gain some points in the midterms. So you keep everybody more fearful than ever. Trust old Uncle Joe there. And don't worry, he'll take care of you.
Biden veered into talk about Ukraine at the end of his standard fundraising remarks, saying that Putin was, quote, not joking when he talked about the use of tactical nuclear weapons or biological or chemical weapons. Oh, the arsenal grows. It's not just nuclear. It's also biological and chemical. What are they planning to do to us, Basil? What is the agenda here that they would they're getting ready to blame Putin for this thing?
Steal our content.
Well, they're already doing that. They're on to the next thing. Quote, we have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis, he added. He suggested the threat from Putin is real, quote, because his military is, you might say, significantly underperforming, end quote. You know, this whole thing, there's a book I bring up often, a fictional book called The Atopia Chronicles. And one of the themes in that book is that it's, again, a fictional story. There is a group of people that are living in sort of that virtual realm that believe something is that their island that they're living on, there's a giant storm coming and they think they got to prepare for the storm because it's going to hit the island and we got to do all the things. The rest of the world know that something's wrong with those folks and they're being fed like false information and there is no storm, you know. And there's like this huge divide in civilization of people who know what's going on and see the absurdity, and then people that are completely within that bubble, almost like its own hive mind.
It's a nice allegory, for the sort of mind control, the fear-based mind control of a certain group of people. Yeah. And it's so obvious from the outside that it's complete nonsense. But when you're in it, when you're the target, when the danger is looming over you, you just can't see it.
You know, in the context of U.S. politics too, this might be a very, very strategic way to get off of the liberal left as being the mainstream, because you can't do that without absurdities. You know, you can't really because even AP here is starting to report there's other people saying that there's no evidence. And not only that, CNN has this headline: Biden's nuclear warning not based on new intelligence, but opens a window into real worries inside the White House. And President Joe Biden's stark warning Thursday night that the world faces the highest prospect of nuclear war in 60 years was not based on any new intel. Okay, is he just repeating this thing? Yeah. But for CNN to take the stance of, Biden said it, there is concern, but it's not based on any actual intel. He's kind of getting it somewhere else.
Yeah, or he's just blabbing his mouth is what they're admitting.
Yeah, that too.
He's just blah, blah, blah. Armageddon's on the way, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But what is all of this, what is it useful for in terms of distraction? What else are they throwing up there?
You mean from Biden? Are you asking me about the next article, or do you have a theory?
What are you losing your mind? What's going on?
I'm losing my mind. Well, I do have another article. This is from Newsweek here. Newsweek. The headline is, yes, Newsweek, which, as we've mentioned many times before, unknown funding. Seems to have some hints, some clues that it's an official propaganda outlet for one reason or another, or simply connected to the U.S. intelligence apparatus. But the headline today came out: Biden's marijuana pardons unlikely to make a big midterm splash.
Well, with Newsweek, where are they skeptical of Joe's moves
they
here?
They are really downplaying this thing. And I think it's actually kind of funny. The announcement Thursday by President Joe Biden on reforming marijuana policy on a federal level is the fulfillment of a campaign promise that should have occurred sooner, one Democratic strategist told Newsweek. Yeah, no kidding. Considering he was promising to do this back in the Obama administration, but okay. Biden's plan includes pardons for those convicted of simple possession under current federal law, as well as a reclassification of marijuana from its current Schedule 1 designation, the same designation given to drugs such as heroin and LSD. Amani Wells Onyoiha, operations director at Soul Strategies, told Newsweek she's glad Biden is treading forward with a safe, common sense political strategy that should have been done previously, even by executive action, which she says hasn't been utilized to its full potential on other issues.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
He signed the most executive actions of any president in decades on day one, but apparently marijuana wasn't in there. It's not good enough. It may not be enough to sway midterm voters, however. Now, before I get into the why this apparently won't work to win midterm elections, this is a very interesting thing for him to do, because every president since Obama, Trump, and Biden have all promised since their campaign speech, first campaign announcements, that they were going to decriminalize or at least, revisit the federal marijuana laws. And of course, none of them did it. He did it now, but as noted by this Democratic strategist, too late. Because it comes off as an obvious, political play.
Yeah.
Considering Biden, as he loves to remind us, wrote the 94 crime bill, which was really the bill that made it the worst possible situation for the marijuana enthusiasts, I guess. Now, I will say, it's always an interesting conversation on this show because we have so many things kind of overlapping. Of course, we're a Christian show, but we're also a sort of political examination type of show. And as someone who leans toward libertarian, just the very idea that government should have as little power over an individual's life as possible. A classic sort of extreme libertarian idea is that the government shouldn't have any say in what drugs you choose to do or not do. Not saying drugs are good, not saying they're healthy. In fact, most of them incredibly dangerous and just generally bad for you. But the move away from the hyper criminalization of marijuana that started in the 90s, especially with the 94 crime bill, is progress. I think it does hurt his case a little bit that the 94 crime bill was obviously seen as a political play because there was so much terror, mostly created by the media and the Democrat establishment, about what Hillary Clinton called super predators, and Biden and his quotes about not wanting his kids to grow up in a racial jungle. That's just incredibly racist 90s period for the Democrat Party. And the 94 crime bill was considered, wow, he's super tough on crime. What a hard-nosed fella. And this resulted in, people going to federal prison for possession, meaning, having a little baggie or something and getting, having the full force of the law brought down on them. Not necessarily a great time for American policy, but to have them turn it around now, it is so weak. It just seems not weak because he's like, oh, he's soft on crime or whatever. It's weak because it's obviously a midterm political play.
Another bullet in the chamber. It would have been a more powerful bullet in the past, but it's eroded a little bit. So it's kind of petering off like
he's
not
2
doing...
years in.
Yeah.
He's 2 years in and has only just started to do the things that he was promising to do, like the school loans. Sorry, what is it called? School debt,
student debt.
That's what it is. Student debt forgiveness. Stuff like this. All the things that people elected him for. He's taking too long, making it obviously a midterm play. And the funny thing about the marijuana laws is it's pretty widely supported around the country, regardless of political party. So you're not going to sway anybody. You're not making any, you
don't think people change their minds?
Grandiose statements or anything.
Hey, Joe finally did it. Yeah, let's vote for him. I was going to vote for a Republican, but man,
it's
this
possible.
Thing really just...
I was pretty mad that he started World War III and got the whole world blown up with nukes, but he made weed legal. So
this also is kind of a counter Russia thing too, because wasn't that
right.
Brittany Griner?
Brittany Griner
is still in hostage, or not hostage?
Yeah,
but
sort of hostage. Yeah,
she's
she's sort of a political prisoner. Yeah. So it does make a statement there for sure.
Yeah. Still weak in all ways.
This Newsweek continues. A Morning Consult / Politico poll on federal marijuana legalization released the day before Biden's tweet announcement shows 71% support by Democrats and 61% by independents and almost 50% of Republicans. In total, 3 in 5 voters said marijuana should be legalized nationally. Support exceeds a minimum of 58% amongst voters of all races and ethnicities, with baby boomers representing the age group least inclined to support such legislation.
Oh,
Quote,
the boomers.
Sorry, boomers. Biden's doing things that won't get him too much backlash on either end, Wells Onyoya said. Quote, let's be honest, everyone smokes weed on both sides. Okay, I don't know about everyone, but okay, I see your point. I'm hoping this is the first step in a much bigger step to make over the criminal justice system. Pardons would positively affect people of color more than anyone. The National Organization for Reform of Marijuana Laws reports that even as white and African Americans consume marijuana at roughly the same rates, African Americans are 4 times more likely to be arrested. Thanks to Joseph Biden. They don't put that part in here, but that is the case because of the bill Joe wrote. And let's see, it goes on. I'm going to skip down just a little bit. This is a quote, Biden is hoping his announcement will help energize the Democratic base in the final weeks leading up to the midterm elections, Cooperman said. Quote, his decision to pardon thousands of people convicted of marijuana possession under federal law, pushed for by advocates for months, could well boost Democrats in the upcoming elections, in particular, mobilizing young people, liberals, and minorities. Polling shows that
it's like a catch and release, draw them in, catch him,
exactly,
and then release them right when it's convenient.
Forget about them the second they vote for you.
Yeah.
That's the classic Democrat Party strategy.
Yeah.
Anyways, it goes on for quite some time,
sure.
But I think it's an interesting development.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of this story and the one before about Armageddon and all that kind of stuff might be a distraction, might be a way to sort of obfuscate the search engines when people are searching for Biden. Although I don't know. The tides are turning. But this is CNN.com. Federal prosecutors weighing charges on 2 fronts in Hunter Biden investigation.
Oopsies.
Yeah, actual stuff going down, I guess. Federal prosecutors believe they could charge Hunter Biden with tax crimes and a false statement, but a final decision still has not yet been made by the U.S. attorney in Delaware, according to sources familiar with the matter. The case against Biden narrowed earlier this year and was a matter of discussion in early summer between FBI and IRS agents or investigators, prosecutors in Delaware, and the Justice Department, CNN previously reported. Something I just noticed now. When CNN reports something, they will say CNN previously reported. There was another article earlier, I forget which one it was, from today, where it didn't say CNN previously reported. It said CNN was previously told by like some source. I think it was about the election.
That's interesting.
I think it was about the election.
They were told something and didn't report it.
Yeah. The little subtlety there. The discussions included assessing the strength of the case and questioning whether more work was needed before deciding on charges, according to sources who spoke to CNN in July. Prosecutors have not yet made any charging decisions on the case and have not met since early summer to discuss the federal investigation. Okay. A source familiar with the matter told CNN that talks between Biden's team and the Justice Department have been ongoing for several months, but nothing has changed in a couple of months on that front. Why are they reporting this if nothing has happened? Quote, as is proper and legally required, we believe the prosecutors in this case are diligently and thoroughly weighing not just evidence provided by agents, but also all other witnesses in this case, including witnesses for the defense, Biden's attorney Chris Clark said in a written statement to the Journal. The Washington Post reported on Thursday that prosecutors believe they have, quote, sufficient evidence to charge Biden, one of President Joe Biden, a son of President Joe Biden, in 2 areas, 2 things.
So they're not talking about the sufficient evidence on the laptop or the videos of him doing crack cocaine. No. That's not the evidence they're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. So this is,
okay.
This is we're we're not going to
crazy right wing conspiracy theories.
No. The legit story is that there's 2 things that have sufficient evidence to take this guy down. The first one is tax crimes, and the second one, a false statement regarding a gun purchase.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing to do.
No.
You don't want to lie to purchase a gun. That's called illegally purchasing a gun, Hunter. That's not a good look.
You buy a ghost gun? What's going on? Investigators have...
sounds like he was lying on his...
documentation?
On his forms, yeah.
Investigators have at various times inquired about multiple facets of Hunter Biden's life, initially focusing on tax issues and money transfers related to business activities in China. Multiple people familiar with the probe previously told CNN. Oh, there it is. I think that's what it was. This article. Okay, now it's coming back to me. I just had that moment when I was previously reading it. Yeah. So this here, it says how the China stuff, right? That it was taking place, that Hunter had a connection with China. Multiple people familiar with the probe previously told CNN. They didn't report it.
Right.
But now they can say, oh, we were told that. Interesting. It's in the same article. Yeah, pay attention to whether they're saying that they reported it or they were told. So anyway, those 2 things, the tax the tax stuff and then the gun stuff. But it doesn't seem like it's very, I don't know. It seems more like a slap on the wrist.
Well, it's interesting because it's ignoring the most obvious ones. Now, we know that actually maneuvering through the prosecutorial process and the justice system is often more complicated and more boring than we would like it to be.
Yeah.
A video of someone, hypothetically, like if someone had a video of themselves, like with hookers, possibly underage, smoking crack. Apparently now we know with an illegal gun and et cetera. Just because the video exists doesn't mean you can prosecute somebody on it.
Looks like it is right here. The prosecutors have also examined a 2018 incident in which a firearm owned by Biden ended up tossed by his then girlfriend into a dumpster in Wilmington. A person briefed on the matter said.
I've never heard that one before.
That's what it says.
Well,
Biden described in media.
Time. His gun got tossed in a dumpster. His laptop got left at a repair place.
Guy just can't keep his stuff together.
Guy can't catch a break, man.
Get a backpack, buddy. Biden described in media interviews last year that he was addicted to drugs, which raised the possibility he broke federal law when he bought the firearm. Federal law prohibits firearm purchases by anyone who uses or is addicted to illegal drugs.
Yes, you have to say. I always wondered about that part on the form. There's a question like, are you addicted to illegal drugs or do you use illegal drugs? And it's just like a check yes or check no box. I always think like, who checks yes on that?
Gotcha. Hunter.
It's one of those ones you think you think you can get away with it, but somebody gets busted for it.
Yeah.
Bummer, dude.
There you go. Yeah. So it looks like the walls are closing in a little bit on Hunter, because at a certain point, I think things become undeniable. And if CNN is making that 180 from where we were maybe a year or so ago,
trying.
They're trying, and they got to be more balanced. So, here you go. They're trying. They're trying to. The whole left media and everything else. They're trying to make it seem like they're more fair and balanced. But we'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, good luck, Hunter. Good luck, Biden. Good luck to all the marijuana federal prison guests. And good luck to all of us as the impending nuclear apocalypse continues to barrel towards us. But we'll still be here and we'll be having a party.
Do you think Hunter Biden should be invited to our party? I don't know. That's risky.
I don't think Hunter Biden has ever shown up to a party he's actually been invited to.
That's true. Yeah, stay away from our party.